it's amazing and miraculous that she did survive that.
A woman mauled by her pit bull earlier this month in Palm Springs. Tonight, we hear from a friend of the woman about the long road to recovery ahead. A toddler shot and killed by her 4-year-old cousin in San Bernardino County. How neighbors are reacting and why the victim's grandfather is in custody. Investigators working to determine the cause in yesterday's boat crash in Missouri, why authorities believe bad weather is to blame, why some are questioning why the boat was on the lake in the first place.
You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader. This is News Channel 3 at 11.
Hello, I'm John White. Karen Devine is on assignment. We are following a pair of breaking news stories for you tonight, both deadly crashes. We begin tonight with the latest crash on Highway 74 just south of Palm Desert. News Channel 3's Lauren Coronado is on scene right now with a live mobile newsroom with up-to-the-minute details on what's happened there tonight. Lauren.
Yeah, I just talked to the investigator on the case. He tells me that the person who died is actually a male. He was ejected from the vehicle. That vehicle's still right here on the scene. We're again on Highway 74, right next to the Art Smith trailhead along Highway 74. Now, this car was occupied by only one person. A lot of officers are still on scene trying to see if anyone else was involved in the crash. So far, they have determined that there were no other passengers. Again, that driver dying right here on scene. Now, again, we're on Highway 74, just up next to the Art Smith trailhead. Now, no evidence of other people were in the vehicle. Drugs and alcohol have not been ruled out. And we don't know if that driver was actually wearing a seatbelt. Police do say speed was a factor. That's according to witnesses. And of course, the car did overturn and landed right here. You can see right here on Highway 74, just the line of police vehicles. When we arrived on scene, there were about 6 to 7. CAL FIRE was actually here as well. Now, I want to show you guys just how badly this car went through the fencing. If you see here on Highway 74, there is a metal fence that lines the highway. That car actually went right through the highway. That just shows how quickly and how strong that car actually went through the fencing. Of course, as soon as we learn any more details, we'll be able to bring you that on air and, of course, on our website. Reporting live right here along Highway 74, I'm Lauren Coronado.
Okay, thank you, Lauren, from there. And we're following another breaking story for you tonight. Also, a deadly crash in Desert Hot Springs. Police say a pedestrian was hit by a car around 8:15 tonight near Palm Drive in Buena Vista. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. We're told the driver did stop and is cooperating with police. Palm Drive has been closed in that area. Stay with News Channel 3 on the air and online at KSQ.com and with our KESQ mobile app for any new developments on both of these breaking stories tonight. A Palm Springs woman who was viciously attacked by her own dog is out of intensive care tonight, more than 2 weeks after this happened. And tonight we're learning more about what did happen and the woman's long road to recovery. News Channel 3's Lauren Coronado filed this report tonight before heading out to that breaking story.
She told me that the cops told her that they've seen less blood at murder scenes. Yeah.
8 blood transfusions and 4 surgeries later, Lauren Music is fighting for a full recovery.
She's had surgeries in both arms to sort of stabilize her arteries. I believe she went through another surgery yesterday. I believe there are like 3 or 4 more surgeries planned in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Graham Hancock is a close friend of Music, still trying to process the violent attack. She was mauled in the face, forearms, and leg. Neighbors helped free Music, but the dog found its way back to her, continuing the brutal attack.
The fact that the dog circled around to the front part of the house and went for round 2 is just like a sick dream. I couldn't even imagine what was going on in her head.
Initially, doctors planned to amputate her left arm and right hand. But according to Hancock, medics have been able to save her limbs. Hancock tells me Music went into her apartment while the lights were off, went to pick up papers off the floor that had fallen from a table, and that's when the pit bull named Taz attacked.
I think maybe the dog just sort of had a sort of reaction and maybe didn't realize that it was Lauren.
Once police got on scene, officers tased Taz multiple times. Hancock says police used an animal control pole to restrain him.
The circular plastic rope mechanism around its neck, and I believe the dog continued to keep twisting around and then eventually choked itself to death.
Meanwhile, Music was being rushed to the hospital where she remains tonight and is expected to stay for the next few months.
I just want Lauren to sort of, make a recovery and not being in the situation that she's in right now.
That was News Channel 3's Lauren Coronado reporting. We are going into the weekend still feeling the heat and humidity. We'll call it the misery index out there. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen's tracking our conditions. Haley, has not been our most comfortable week outside.
It certainly has not. It hasn't been the hottest week, but it has been the most humid. I mean, just on Wednesday, we had our dew point temperatures in the mid 70s. Right now, hanging out in the low 60s, and tomorrow is going to be very similar to what we are currently experiencing, but there is a dry out on the way. We'll gradually continue drying out as we make our way into Sunday, and then a bigger dry out into Monday. And it's all thanks to a ridge of high pressure that will continue to build directly over us. It's just towards our east right now, so we have to wait for it to arrive. But once it does, we are talking about temperatures that are jumping up into the 1-teens, and an excessive heat warning has already been issued in anticipation of these temperatures. Looking ahead for our Saturday, though, we're looking to have temperatures that are very seasonable for this time of year. Looking to be a couple degrees cooler than today just because of some advancing clouds overhead. But again, those dew point temperatures still near 60 degrees. A bit of a breeze as we head into tomorrow evening out of the northwest, 15 miles per hour. But in my First Alert forecast, we'll talk more about that excessive heat warning. John?
We'll see you then. Thank you, Haley. A grandfather in custody tonight after a 2-year-old girl was shot and killed by her 4-year-old cousin in San Bernardino County. Investigators now working to figure out how the 4-year-old was able to get a hold of that gun. As Leticia Juarez reports, the grandfather is accused of child endangerment and being a felon in possession of a firearm.
This was the scene outside a home on Duffy Street in Muscoy this morning. Neighbors say the woman in red is the mother of the 2-year-old little girl who was shot and killed.
When they bought out, they had a patch here over her chest, and it didn't look like a big hole because it was just, they just had a patch over and was pumping it as they was putting it in the ambulance.
Investigators say the toddler was accidentally shot by her 4-year-old cousin. We blurred his face as he was carried out of the home, visibly distraught.
4-year-old child got a hold of a handgun and accidentally shot the 2-year-old child.
The little girl was taken to the hospital and died an hour later. Her mother, supported by another woman, was taken to sheriff's headquarters with other family members for questioning. Neighbors were left shaken by the tragedy.
It's a sad situation, seeing the kids happy all the time playing outside, and with my grandbabies too as well. It's really sad.
Investigators are trying to determine who the gun belonged to and how the 4-year-old boy got a hold of the loaded weapon, something neighbors say no child should have access to.
It's very sad that parents would leave a gun laying around for a kid to get a hold of.
Firearms should be put up in a safe place, a gun case or anything, so it won't be easy access for the children, just as well as medication that people take daily.
That was Leticia Juarez reporting. Well, tonight we are hearing from the husband of a woman killed in a crash on Interstate 10 just east of the valley on Sunday. Archie Kelly was riding in the car with his wife Rachel Lopez and her 2 kids when their car had a blowout just past Sherrico Summit, headed back toward the valley. Kelly says Lopez lost control and the car went off the road and rolled. Kelly and their children were okay. Lopez had suffered head and chest injuries and died. Kelly is grateful for the many people who tried to help.
I want to commend the people who ran there and helped us out. We had a couple of nurses that came there and gave her comfort while she was going through what she was going through.
According to Kelly, Lopez was taken by ambulance but died from massive chest trauma 2 hours after the crash. And today the family held a car wash fundraiser to help cover funeral expenses. Family members say the donations will help greatly.
her medical expenses and laying her to rest. It's really expensive these days, so anything helps.
They've also set up a GoFundMe page. You can find a link to that on our website, KESQ.com. Right now, the family is planning services for August 1st. A local tribe giving first responders a little help. Next on News Channel 3, see the donations that will help the fire and sheriff's departments in Rancho Mirage. And people tend to hate the muggy weather. Bugs seem to love it. What you can do to keep your home bug-free this summer. You're watching KESQ, the Desert's News Leader. The Rancho Mirage Fire and Sheriff's Departments received a new backup generator and a police motorcycle today from the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians. The tribe donated the new equipment to Rancho Mirage Fire Station 69 and the Sheriff's Department. This morning, officials saying the new generator will help them power up the station in the event of an emergency.
This will buy us that time while they are working on, whatever caused the power outage, to be able to still fluently run those emergency calls.
The motorcycle will be added to the Rancho Mirage Police Department, meanwhile, allowing them to get more patrols out on the streets. People hate the muggy weather. Bugs seem to thrive in it, and people are seeing more of them right now. High temps and humidity mean more bugs are active, seeking out shelter and cool, shady spots. This time of the year is especially troublesome with spiders, crickets, scorpions, and sometimes even snakes all active. Some tips to keep these pests away: don't hose down your patio after spraying repellent. Don't lean any brooms or trash bins against walls. Black widows are known to hide out inside. Check under barbecue covers or pool rafts. Cool, shady spots are places creepy crawlies love to camp out.
In the summer, you're going to get crickets, you're going to get American roaches, you're going to get earwigs inside the house. And the one thing you have to think about, what do all three of those have in common? Moisture. They're trying to get out of the heat, just like you are.
If you do come across a snake or other pests in your backyard, well, the safest thing to do is call animal control if it's a snake maybe, or hire a professional to spray your home. Investigators focusing on stormy weather after a boat capsized in Branson, Missouri, killing 17 people. Next on News Channel 3, why there are major questions tonight about why that boat was even on the water.
Clear skies overhead, but more clouds will begin to stream into our sky tomorrow. It's all thanks to the latest push in monsoonal moisture for Southern California, but we do have drier conditions in our extended forecast. I'll break it all down. Coming up next, you're watching KESQ, the Desert's News Leader.
17 people are dead tonight, including several children in a boating tragedy we first told you about last night as it was breaking in Branson, Missouri. Now there are serious questions being raised about why the tourist boat that capsized was on the water with severe thunderstorm warnings in the area. Emily Rao has more as investigators try to determine what went wrong.
A tour boat with 31 people on board caught in a storm, finding 60-mile-per-hour winds.
Needed water rescue will be north of the showboat. Will be a dock that has capsized.
Families on another boat watching the tragedy unfold.
Oh my gosh, has he overheated?
Those passengers appearing relaxed. But then you see the weather turn.
His nose is under the water.
Other boaters rushing in, trying to help the victims.
And I was yelling and I was screaming. And finally I said, Lord, just let me die. Let me die. I said, I can't keep drowning.
Investigators now looking into why the boat was even on the water, with the severe thunderstorm watch issued just 30 minutes before the boat capsized and sank, critically injuring 2 people, killing 17 others, including 9 victims from the same family.
We're trying to dive for some more missing people as we're working on this.
Some passengers left searching for missing loved ones.
My daughter is in the hospital safe. My mother, that's why I'm here, is to go in and see.
And life jackets, still a big question. You can see them on that other boat in the lake, but they're not required to be worn.
The president of the company that owns the duck boats says the operator has a good safety record. He also said that storm came out of nowhere. Emily Rao, ABC News, Branson, Missouri.
Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Haley Clausen.
We are dealing with temperatures that are very seasonable for this time of year. Palm Springs today coming in with a high of 109. An average high would be 108 for today's date, so we'll take it, except could we lose the humidity, the mugginess? It's still with us, and it's going to be following us into tomorrow. When we're looking at our water vapor imagery, you can see where all the cloud tops are just towards our east. This is going to continue to try to nudge itself a little bit towards the west over us, and that's what we'll be seeing out there tomorrow. So partly cloudy skies at times, and still going to be feeling the mugginess. With this still beginning to stream in from the east to the west like we've been dealing with, that easterly flow, it is going to be allowing the opportunity for some isolated showers or storms to develop, mainly in the higher elevations. We're talking the mountains. We saw that around San Gorgonio just yesterday. Today, everything was further towards the north near Barstow, and that's really what looks to continue into tomorrow with more activity across the high desert with those showers pushing further towards the north. But before you head out, make sure you have the KESQ First Alert weather app. Just pull it out, check your radar, see where those showers or storms are before you're continuing about your day. But overall, we will be drying out. Tomorrow, our dew point temperature still in the 60s. By Sunday, it will become a little less humid, and we'll continue that dry out as we make our way into the next work week. So again, today we were in the 60s. As we make our way into tomorrow, it's going to be near 60 degrees at times, and then just a little bit drier as we make our way into Sunday, dropping down into the low and mid 50s across the Coachella Valley. Now we have this ridge of high pressure in place just towards our east. This is what's expanding towards the west. This is the reason we will be drying out. It's also the reason that we are going to be dealing with extremely warm temperatures. An excessive heat warning going into effect on Monday for all of Southern California except the coast. A heat advisory there. This lasts through Thursday. Our temperatures will be in the 1-teens beginning Monday afternoon. Already with today, we're on a consecutive streak of triple-digit heat for 11 days. Our last streak was 20 days, and then one day at 99 degrees broke that streak. So here we are starting over, but we're about to pass that streak as we make our way through this next work week. Check this out, that excessive heat warning again through Thursday, and that high heat will still be following us into the following weekend. John?
Okay, it is the middle of summer in the desert. Thank you, Haley. Recognizing LGBTQ veterans. Next on News Channel 3, the effort underway to make a memorial here in the Valley an official State of California memorial. You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader. An update tonight on a proposed bill in Sacramento that would designate a local memorial as the official state memorial for LGBTQ veterans. Palm Springs Mayor Robert Moon supports the bill from Assemblymember Eduardo Garcia. It would be the first national LGBTQ veterans memorial, and it would be here at Desert Memorial Park in Cathedral City.
It means that we are embracing everyone who has served in our armed forces, and we're saying thank you to them for fighting and bringing forward the opportunities and freedoms that this great country offers everyone here in the United States.
The memorial has been in place since 2001. If the legislation passes, a second bronze plaque would be installed, indicating that the memorial is now the official State of California LGBTQ Veterans Memorial. Supporters also believe it would be good for tourism, with people coming to the Valley to see the memorial. The 9 Cities Blood Drive Challenge continuing, and the need for donations remains urgent. Today, Livestream set up shop at the Indian Wells Golf Resort. Livestream says the Valley often has a blood shortage in the summer months when the population dips by about 30%.
In the Coachella Valley, we actually are short the number of units that we need to meet the needs of the hospitals and the community, but we have a population that could actually be self-sufficient. So we really need people to come out 2 to 3 times a year, and we'll have more than enough blood to meet the needs of the community.
All donors get a ticket voucher to Wet n Wild Palm Springs and a coupon for free Jack in the Box tacos. Today, Livestream collected 42 units in the 9 Cities Challenge. Palm Desert is in the lead with 84 units, followed by La Quinta at 79, and Coachella very close third place right now with 78 units collected. A local baseball standout making his case to be a big leaguer when major league teams are allowed to expand rosters in September. And the debut of Manny Machado with the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Brewers, and well, it's off to a pretty good start. Not a home run, but still a solid baseline. Sports is up next on News Channel 3. You're watching the Deserts News Leader.
This is the best local sports show with Cody Krupp.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Cody Krupp in for sports, and welcome back Major League Baseball. The Dodgers beginning the second half of their season, a half-game lead in the NL West, but also a new four-time All-Star shortstop. And what a Dodgers debut it was for Manny Machado. Everybody wanted him. Los Angeles got him, and he got all over the Brew Crew early and often. First inning, first at bat, and just like that, a single up the middle. He went 2 for 3 on the night and also drew 2 walks. So fast forward, score tied at 1 in the 7th. Chris Taylor saying, say no more. Drops it down for RBI number 42, and the Dodgers lead 2-1. And then Max Muncy about to make it 3-1. Same inning, a roper to right and center. So that's a little insurance that it looked like they're going to need. Because in the 8th, this is the All-Star Jesus Aguilar waving it goodbye. The National League leader with 24 home runs on the season. That made it just a one-run game, 3-2. But how about those blue? 2 on, 2 out. TK Hernandez, get up and get out. The dagger in Miller Park. Dodgers 6-2 winners over the Brew Crew. So it was not as good of a start to the second half for the Los Angeles Angels, though they did get to stay in Southern California. They're 49-48 on the year, but about to go 15 games behind the ALS leading Houston Astros. Of course, the reigning World Series champion Astros, they got the second best record in baseball, but did not have much trouble adding a win. It was Dallas Keuchel, 7 2/3, gave up just 2 Angels hits, 1 earned run. They beat the Halos 3-1.
3-0 Houston. 1-1. Swung on, that's ripped to left center field. Eplin going back, still going back, and that ball is gone. Just over the barrier in left center field. Taylor Ward with his 4th home run of the year.
And talk about hitting the baseball. That is what local Angels first-round pick Taylor Ward has been doing lately. Of course, on May 25th, he was promoted to AAA Salt Lake City. And here's a tweet from the Salt Lake City Bees last week. Since June 18th, he's played in 21 games. He's had 37 hits, 17 RBIs, 5 home runs. That's pretty solid to say the least. And if these Angels, if they keep struggling, I'll look for the Shadow Hills grad to be in that September 1st call-ups. We're going to have to wait and see. And all week long, sports director Blake Arthur has brought you his summer golf tips from PJ West to the Classic Club and many in between. All those golf tips from the professionals. It's on our website at KESQ.com. We're going to have 5 more next week. So now let's go over to Scotland to the Open Championship. The #1 player in the world, Dustin Johnson, didn't even make the weekend, but names like Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Ricky Fowler, and Jordan Spieth are all in the mix. In the top 40, separated by just 6 strokes. So this shot right here kept the leaderboard nice and tight. The South Carolina-born Kevin Kistner. Everything was smooth sailing until his final hole. He had to settle for a double bogey, and instead of leading by 2 strokes, he dropped down to 6 under, and that tied him for the lead with Zach Johnson. So, like I mentioned, Dustin Johnson did not make the cut. But let's take a look at the big names that are going into Saturday. It's Rory McIlroy at 4 under, Jordan Spieth and Ricky Fowler at 3 under, Jason Day, Tiger Woods, and Phil Mickelson both are even tied for 29. So it's shaping up to be a pretty good weekend from the Open Championship. So sports ends now. We're going to have more news after the break. You're watching the Deserts News Leader.
Okay, we are a little toasty. Well, not really toasty. We're muggy.
Yes, and so even though our temperatures aren't as high as what we felt so far, when you add that humidity, we have a heat index and it feels hotter than what it actually is. Next week, we do lose the humidity, but those temperatures are really going to be hot. An excessive heat warning goes into effect on Monday.
You see worse humidity elsewhere, but my goodness.
It doesn't belong here.
110 feels like 112. Kimmel Live up next.